Good afternoon. After listening to the speakers this morning, you feel humble in the presence of the victims and fighters for human rights and democracy that are present here today. Now I'm going to go to Spanish because of our guest. En nombre de la coalición internacional.
On behalf of the International Coalition of 25 organizations that are fighting for human rights and who are sponsoring together the 8th Geneva Summit for Human Rights and Democracy, I am honored to present our Courage Award for 2016. This year, we recognize the extraordinary courage of two Venezuelans who are being arbitrarily detained. Mr. Antonio Ledesma, the mayor of Caracas, and Mr. Leopoldo Lopez, the leader of Venezuela's democratic opposition. By honoring them, we show our solidarity with the ongoing struggle of all political prisoners in Venezuela. As someone who grew up in Colombia and with many friends from neighboring Venezuela, it saddens me deeply to see what has happened to this great land. The government has trampled the basic human rights of their people and is now destroying the country and its economy. Due to catastrophic policies, people are now forced to stand in lines for hours to buy the most basic necessities of life, only to find, after this wait, only empty shelves. They are desperately short of food and medicine. Venezuela seems headed towards a complete disaster. Thankfully, some leaders have had the courage to speak out. Antonio Ledesma, the mayor of Caracas, has been a thorn in the side of the ruling party since he won the mayorship in 2008, beating the Chavez candidate. Because of his defiance, Mr. Ledesma was arrested 1 year ago when heavily armed government thugs stormed his office and threw him in jail. Now, under house arrest due to medical reasons, he faces 26 years in prison under politically motivated charges of conspiracy. Despite being trapped physically in a cell, my fighting spirit continues to be free, wrote Mr. Ledesma last year. It is free because my conscience tells me that I am serving the right cause. Prison is a unique experience because when you surrender your freedom for a just and noble cause, every second your strength is renewed to keep both your head and your principles high. Leopoldo Lopez is the leader of the opposition party, Voluntad Popular, who has been behind bars in the Ramo Verde military prison since February 2014. His only crime was organizing peaceful protests. He has suffered horrific prison conditions. And when his wife, Liliane Tintori, goes to visit him, she is subjected to humiliating treatment by the prison guards. The regime thought that by putting these and other dissenting voices behind bars, it had succeeded in silencing their calls for a free Venezuela. But because of the deep commitment of their families and of supporters worldwide, their voices will be loud and clear. Our award today is an unmistakable affirmation of commitment by the international human rights community to the mission of bringing democracy to Venezuela. It is time for President Maduro to accept calls from across the world to free all political prisoners and to allow liberty and democracy to flourish in Venezuela. Let us all raise our voices and let our friends in Venezuela know that they are not alone in the struggle for human rights and democracy.
Invite our NGO partners to please join me for the award presentation.